Cloud Nothing's The Shadow I Remember album review. Let's do it. Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here tonight to chat about this new Cloud Nothing's album. Cloud Nothing's are a Cleveland-based band. I've been at it for quite a bit for these guys, actually. As a matter of fact, they've honestly become one of my current faves. Their early stuff, the Turning On era, their early demos as well, I wasn't that high on, but around the time of their self-titled album, I really got hip to what these guys were doing. It was just a sort of blend of power pop and garage rock that I was really into at the time. Super catchy as well. Now, honestly, at the time, I thought that right there was going to be the sound for Cloud Nothings. But was I ever wrong? Because their next album showed them teaming up with the legendary Steve Albini for a post-hardcore tour de force, one of the best in recent years. It was equal parts crushing, but also incredibly catchy and just a really memorable album overall. And ever since, honestly, I feel like Cloud Nothings have been one of the more, consistent acts in modern indie. While I didn't think it was as instantaneous or as well produced here and nowhere else, honestly continued to show just how incredible of a songwriter Dylan Baldi is. And at first I wasn't really that into 2017's Life Without Sound, but over the years it's grown on me quite a bit. It's very catchy. And 2018's Last Building Burning for me was a really great return to form to that post-hardcore gritty sound that they nailed so well at Attack on Memory. And their last album, 2020's The Black Hole Understands, I was shocked to see the band go backwards to that power pop sound they did so many years ago. And honestly, it came off pretty tasteful. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. The new singles leading up to this album worried me a little bit. They were okay, but just that. They were just okay. I felt like, honestly, more than anything, I needed to hear the album. So let's chat about it. This album starts with Oslo, and honestly, I'm super into this as an intro. I love the crunchy riff and the elegant piano. It really backs up Dylan's very somber performance here really well. Just a really great sound for Cloud Nothings right now, and lyrically, I think Dylan's actually putting out some of his best stuff on this album. Honestly, this is by far some of the more introspective stuff in his catalog in quite some time. But this one picks up really nicely. It has that gnarly sound from Attack on Memory, and it also just seems very unpredictable in nature. This is a great start. The Spirit of, on the other hand, just sounds like business as usual. Like, my first reaction to hearing this song a couple of months ago was, yeah, that sounds about right. And no, that's not a slight at all. It's throttling and wild and lyrically continues to be some of Dylan's better stuff. It's got that sort of punk spirit as some of their old stuff. It's very finely tuned as well. It's super chaotic, but like I said, it's very well written. It sticks with you. But I would say outside of the singles, it's a lot of the deep cuts that really won this album over for me. Only Light, this one has some grit to it. It's actually one of the most off-the-rails sounding tracks here. But it reminds me of so many of the aspects of their music from years ago that I really love. It's so damn catchy. This is just a great medium for them. Nara isn't exactly as throttling or out of control, but it is a fantastic example of Dylan's songwriting. And you know what? That's been a selling point to the band for years now. But with age, I think his stuff is getting even more introspective and more compelling. This may not be exactly where I thought I'd hear them right about now, but like their last album from last year, there's a nice surprise. Open Rain is also very good, super confident, and I love how after all these years, this just sounds like it just came so very easily to Dylan. It's controlled chaos in the best way, and Dylan's vocals are so incredibly passionate, and that final instrumental jam, that guitar solo, it is so good. Now overall, this is a very decent Cloud Nothings album, but there is part of me that worries they need a fresh new start almost. Like the Nothing Without You single, this one let me down. I mean, I do love how direct and confident and throttling this track is, and lyrically may be my favorite of the bunch, but this chorus, oh boy, it's just so flat after this throttling verse. It's easily my least favorite on the album, very much a letdown. Sound of Alarm is just really average. This is the kind of track that I would have heard on Life Without Sound years ago when I wasn't that into it, and I would just hear it and think, wow, Cloud Nothings have gone way too indie. That's what I feel here. I mean, it's totally fine, but without the energy of other tracks here, this just doesn't do it for me. And the rest of this album is average. Am I Something is fine. This just sounds like Cloud Nothings by the books. It's not terrible, but this just worries me that Dylan may be, like, I don't know, running low on some ideas. It's Love, however, is a great late album treat. This is the punkiest and wildest track here. It's rough and tumble. It doesn't waste any time trying to be catchy. This is really exciting for me. A Longer Moon, on the other hand, is really tough for me. I really love just how wild this instrumental comes off. It's constantly unraveling. And like, there is no track to even stay on here. It's that wild. But lyrically and vocally, very average. But The Room It Was, as a finale, is one of the best tracks here, and a fantastic complete thought to end this album on. It's agitated and a little rough around the edges, but it sounds like a really great piece of radio rock. It almost has like an old school flair to it as well. Overall, it's one of the best tracks here, and talk about a passionate performance. I am stunned by Dylan's performance here, especially in the final moments. So this new album from Cloud Nothings, it's fine. It's very decent. It's nothing wildly new in their catalog, and you know what? In points that is a little disappointing, but I think that Dylan saves this album with a slew of some of his best lyrics to date. It's fine. It's just a very solid album. I will say this, though. In the future, if we got a lot more albums like this, I don't know if I would be as into it as I'm into this right now. I'm feeling a decent 7 on this thing, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.